Just to let you all know, please stick around till the end of the video. There's a big announcement at the end. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video where we will be talking about Cipher. She is not released yet, but we have a sneak peek of her through the newest event, Galactic Baseballer, where she's a demo character, and you can view all of her traces, her kit, and everything. Firstly, a TLDR for her kit is her basic attack is a normal single target hit, does a little bit of content damage, not that useful. Her skill does blast damage and also puts a weakening debuff on the enemy and the adjacent enemies. As I said, the blast radius, and this debuff cuts their damage by like a little bit. It's not that much, but it's kind of helpful. The most important part is that it's a new debuff that's applied, which can be refreshed every time, so it is useful for Acheron stacks. Next is a talent, which I normally know people would cover alt before talent, but I want to talk about talent because that's the most important part of a kit. Firstly, one enemy is selected to be patron. The patron, whenever allies deal damage to this patron, the damage is calculated and is shown as coins, or as I like to call them, doubloons, under Cipher's name. Her skill can also shift this Patreon wherever she wants to. Whoever is targeted with her skill becomes the patron. But the tally always stays the same. Even if the patron dies and the next wave of enemies comes and a new patron is selected, the damage tally still stays. And whenever you do her ult, which is also a burst, the whoever you target with her ult is automatically selected to be patron. And yeah, so what happens is whenever someone does damage to this patron, obviously the damage is tallied up, and once she does her ultimate, the tallied up damage is given back to the enemy, or like fully give as a burst hit is given to the enemy as true damage. So the exact damage that's collected by patron, you can see it on the screen sometimes. If you go to the character information during battle, you can see how much damage has been fully collected, and this damage will be done with her ultimate as patron. Now the base tally of all the damage done to this patron is 25%, but it gets increased later on. And on top of that, her talent also gives her a follow-up attack, which happens every turn. This is activated by hitting the patron, and it only lasts for one turn, and it can get reset when Cipher takes her turn again. So she takes her turn. After her turn, someone hits the patron enemy, and then she does her follow up attack. And then she cannot do another follow up until she takes her turn again. So yeah, that's her very basic TLDR of her kit. Um, it's not that complicated, or it's a little complicated. It's not that complicated. And yeah, next is some of her bonus passives, which come with techniques. Come with the talent. Firstly, Cipher speed. If Cipher speed is 140 or 170, increases her crit rate by 25 or 50% respectively, and recorded tally by 50% or 100% respectively. Basically, hitting 170 speed on her makes her tally 100% of the damage that's done to the patron, and also gives her a 50% free crit rate. So 170 speed is very important for Cipher. The next bonus passive is Cipher will record 8% of the non-true damage ally hits that the allies target with their attacks. So basically, 8% of the damage that is done to enemies that are not patrons is also recorded by patron, and added up to that final hit that Cipher could do. Um, and again, this does not count overflow damage. It specifically states that an overflow damage is the damage that's done to an enemy after their HP hits zero. So sometimes the animation keeps continuing and the damage calc keeps going up, but they're already dead, so that's not counted for Cipher. um Next, it another bonus she gets is also increases the crit damage dealt by her follow-up attack by 100%. So 100% more crit damage by her follow-up. And when Cipher is on the battlefield, damage received by all enemy targets increases by 40%. It's a very straightforward 40% vulnerability put on all of the enemies in the battle. And And her follow-up attack also gets increased crit damage because of this. It's a very good bonus passive, obviously. The vulnerability also counts as a debuff, so it works for ratio stacks. And but yeah, ratio stacks is the only thing it works for. Another thing it works for is also Pioneer Diver of the Dead Waters, which is a relic set that we'll talk about later. Next, we'll move on to the signature light cones, or the best light cones for her. The best light cone for her is obviously, I accidentally said it before, but it's the signature light cone. We don't know the exact effects. We know how it looks like by the design, and it looks beautiful. I might just say I love it. I might get it based on how many pulls I have, but I don't know. But it looks amazing. But it will definitely be her best in slot. That's how they make light cones. The signature will always be the best in slot. There's not a lot of argument there. Other 5-star light cones that you could put on her if you have some left over are Acheron's light cone and Silverwolf's light cone. Both are really good options, but I suggest if you have Acheron, give her own light cone. Don't give her some other dumb light cone and give Cipher Acheron's light cone. Acheron will get much more worth out of her own light cone. And if you have Silver Wolf, good luck. She's getting buffed in 3.4, I think. So that's great as well. And that light cone should probably be on Silver Wolf after the buff. But you can use it for now if you want. Because I'd say right now Cipher is better than Silver Wolf. But after the buffs, I don't know. So some 4-star options that you can use on her are, firstly, Resolution shines as Pearls of Sweat. At S5, it has a 100% base chance to shred enemy defense, which is really good. It's another debuff. And just shredding defense on enemies is obviously very useful. Next is, you can also use Good Night Sleep Well or Boundless Choreo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Curio, Chorio, churros. Oh, nice. But yeah, if you want to focus on damage, then these Boundless Choreo, or Good Night Sleep Well are really good options if you want to focus on damage. Next, we'll talk about the relic sets. The top relic sets for her for damage is Pioneer Diver of the Dead Waters, as I said before. It will increase her damage for everything because she always have that free vulnerability debuff. That's amazing, first of all. Second, it will also proc for her skill, giving her 8% crit rate and 24% crit damage. The 24% crit damage is only if you have total of 3 debuffs, including her vulnerability and weakness application, but that shouldn't be that hard if you're running her in a normal team. And after that, when you do the skill, it will increase her crit rate by 8% and crit damage by 24%. Another damage set that you can use is Genius of the Brilliant Stars. Just generally a very good set for her, but I wouldn't recommend it over the Pioneer set for just general usage. Some other sets that you can use if you can't hit the speed value is the Messenger and Sacrados sets as a two-piece. You can also use the new one that's released in 3.3, but I don't know that much about it. But it's a two-piece speed set, which is also really good. But in general, you wanna be using either Pioneer or the Genius of the Brilliant Stars. I would recommend Pioneer fully because it's just a very good set for her damage, and she does do a lot of damage. It adds up. It's a really good boost for her. Um, Next is obviously her best ornaments and planner sets. Her best planner set um, for buffing or for a support capability is Lukasha or Sprightly Vonvac if you're using her for general team comps. Penacony Land of Dreams if you're using her for a mono quantum team. These are all energy buffing sets. They buff energy regenerate. The second effect is why Penacony is lower than the other two, because it only works if there are other quantum DPSs. But in general, it's a pretty good set. Buffing her energy is really useful because her ultimate has a lot of value. Another set that I'd recommend honestly for her damage is Firmament Frontline Glamoth, or Glamoth as it's normally called. Um, yeah, it's a really good set. It's just a really useful set, and because you anyways need to hit 170 speed, you will always have the full buff active, which is again really good for her damage. And I normally would suggest having Glamoth over Lukasha, but it's a very small difference. You can use either or. If you want it to be more of a support, Lukasha is way better. If you want her to be a little bit of a damage dealer, then you can use Glamoth instead. I'll personally will be going with Glamoth, but Again, you don't know it. It's all on your own hands. Another set you can use, another planar set you can use is Duran Dynasty of Running Wolves. That's the one. That's the follow up set. You can use it if you're running her with Fei Xiao or any follow up team. But I would still say if you want damage sets, Glamoth is the best general option. And again, if you want a sport set, Lukasha is the best general option. The main stats that you want to target for your main stats, for the body you need to have crit damage. For your feet, try to have speed. um Orb, that you can use either quantum or attack percent. It's not really that, I mean, quantum is a little better, but if you have an attack percent with the better substats, go for it, it's fine. The rope should definitely be energy regen over attack, and way over attack. Energy regen is really useful. Some substats that you would like to like hit is, you wouldn't want speed, you wouldn't want effect hit rate, crit damage, and crit rate. The baselines that you want for these stats are, firstly, you should have 38% effect hit rate. You get 10% from her traces, and most of her applications are 100 or 120%. So you need to hit a total of 38. You'll get 10 from her traces. You just need to get 28 from substats. Next thing you need to hit is 170 speed. It's really important. Also, actually, I'd say it's the most important thing for her to hit is the 170 speed. She has 106 base speed, and you get 14 speed from her traces and 25 speed from 5-star boots. So you need only extra 25 speed from her other substats, which is difficult to get, but you kind of need to hit it if you're not using any of the speed sets in your calcs, or just in your builds. Calc is short for calculator, chat. Sorry. Um, the next is 50% crit rate. She will always get 50% free from having 170 speed. So you just need to get closer to that 100%. You don't need to put that much crit rate on her. And crit damage, there's not really a limit to it. Try to get as much as possible. And yeah, that's all. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. That's all about Cipher. I hope you guys, whoever's pulling for her, gets her. I Lastly, I just want to talk about my thoughts of Cipher and what teams she can fit into. Obviously, there's the Fei Xiao team and the Akron teams that she's mostly being scouted for right now. My personal opinion is that she's not better than Zhao Cho, she's not better than Topaz, but she's very close. Like, she's just a little bit worse than Zhao Cho and a little bit worse than Topaz. She can even be better than Topaz based on the investment you have on either or. So she's still a really good pull if you have a lot of DPSs on your account. She's a very good general support, but because HSR, the way it runs is because of some few specific team comps that are really good, she doesn't really have a hand in any of these other team comps. She's just a really good general support. You can use her in a lot of scenarios. And generally she's very useful. I'll be pulling for her because I just love her design and her character. But I have to say that she is not the most meta or the most powerful or the most overpowered character. She's not going to fit in a lot of teams. Sorry, she's going to fit in almost every team, but she's not going to excel in any of them. She's basically like a jack of all trades, master of none. That's what I would say about her specifically. Yeah, that's it really. That's my opinions of Cipher. Okay, so time for the announcement. A lot of you would have noticed that I have been hinting to something new using my YouTube community tab. Well, it's about time I let you guys know what it's about. So, me and my friend Epic Boss 84, we have started a new podcast. Introducing the newest podcast on YouTube, the Love and Hate Podcast. Link in the description. Where me and my friend Epic Boss 84 will be yapping about gaming, anime, gacha, life, and a lot of other random things. Make sure you check out the channel through the link in the description, and stay tuned for our first episode, which will be coming very soon. With that being said, thanks for watching today's video.